I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
These hoochies like the Greek banana. Don't believe, no, don't be now. That's my motherfucking, that's my shit right there. You know, I'm not normally the biggest fan of China, but I am now. China's new divorce laws have come into effect, and we actually should take a look at them to see what are we going to notice. Now, anybody who's been following me for a while, they know what I've been preaching. Of course, I'm pro-man because at the end of the day, the household, the family structure, it all ends and begins with the men. And without strong men, you will have hard times, and hard times make strong men, but soft men make hard times. So we're in that cycle right now where the soft men have made hard times, and now we're in a free fall. But tough decisions are going to have to be made so that we can recover as a society. But there are other societies that followed us initially that are now backtracking and going more traditional and more common sense. Right now in the United States, one of our biggest problems is that our current laws are outdated. Our current family court laws are from before suffrage. So they're from the 1930s. In the 1930s, women were completely dependent upon men. Also, we had World War II, World War I, and if your man passed away, there was no way for a woman to work or earn an income. So her property did need to go to the husband because she usually had children to take care of, etc. Women at the time could not vote. They could not work. I believe they couldn't drink, they couldn't drive, they couldn't do a lot of things. Now, women are men. Some of them don't shave their armpits. They drink beer. They drink Hennessy. They curse. They can vote, and they make horrible decisions when they vote. They vote for men to use women's locker rooms and bedrooms and locker rooms, and they say they're against men, but they vote for men to replace women. It's ridiculous, and it's why I'm a firm believer that women shouldn't have the right to vote. Honestly, the only time I would ever support a woman receiving child support or alimony is if they relinquish their right to vote and right to work and just completely admit that I am a mentally disabled person, and that's why I need assistance. In the year 2025, the year of our Lord, women can vote, they can work, they can make their own decisions, they have agencies and autonomy. Child support should not be a thing. Neither should alimony. In this political climate of our current modern era, child support and alimony should not even exist. There is no legal basis for it because women should work. Women can work. They fought for the right to work. So none of it makes sense. Again, they're outdated, and being that they're outdated, they're nonsensical. China, being a little bit further ahead than us, they figured it out. Our birth rates are plummeting. Men are like myself are refusing to get women pregnant in the United States. That's our worst fear at night. Yes, we enjoy sex and we enjoy women, but we're afraid of one bad decision, one drunken night, one accidental drunk booty call text. You're only one step away from having your life and your world destroyed. If you're a man of means, if you're a Pookie or a Ray Ray, you really wouldn't care. But for men who have a last name that they want to protect and a family that they wish to build in the future, it's your worst nightmare because you still want to have fun and live life. But unfortunately, it's really hard to do both. That's why the laws have to change. It's not that men have a fear of marriage. Men have a fear of divorce. And in other countries, they're finding out that that's what's keeping their society back. No one is volunteering to want to have children and get married anymore because of the modern iteration of the laws. Men are not protected, and we can lose everything in a divorce. There was a saying that you were not with me shooting in the gym. Sure, she was married to you, but she was not there putting in the work. She was reaping the benefits. In China, the new laws have actually brought this up to speed and actually made it so that it's more equitable and fair for men. You get out what you took in, and you don't even need a ironclad you don't need an ironclad prenuptial agreement to survive a divorce anymore. Let me play this video.
Have you seen the new marriage law? It says that whatever money you earn is yours. What's yours is yours, and what's mine is mine. Now I understand why marriage doesn't require a waiting period, but divorce does. Look behind me. These are all people waiting to get divorced. Today is the 8th day of the Lunar New Year. The office opened at 9 a.m., and in just 2 hours, this is the theme.
Your country's birth rates are tanking. Marriage rates are dropping. The economy is bracing for a crisis. So what's the government's brilliant fix? Simple. Make marriage more appealing to men by making divorce less financially devastating for them. Seems logical. China officially implemented a new divorce law, and the impact has been massive. Just take a look at this.
Now I understand why marriage doesn't require a waiting period, but divorce does. Look behind me. These are all people waiting to get divorced. Today is the 8th day of the Lunar New Year. The office opened at 9 a.m., and in just 2 hours, this is the thing. I came here to help a client transfer property ownership, and I saw this with my own eyes. Just look at the line. Everyone here is getting a divorce. So far, I've only seen one couple getting married.
Shout out to China Observer for that clip. So, what's in this new law has got people, especially women, sprinting to the courthouse? Let's take a look at this post from X. Janice, read.
China has a new
I'll do the honors. 我们起，兄弟要去沙场。And who she's like. What a beautiful thing to see something that I've been talking about for so long finally happening. It's not happening necessarily in my country, but this is in my world. There's only two genders, men and women. No matter where you are on earth, you're going to have to deal with women unless you're a part of the whatever community, and even that community is crumbling. Those marriage rates are destroyed, and even women that were pretending to be men no longer want to be women anymore because they're tired of paying for drinks. So even they got to come back to reality eventually. So let's see here. China new divorce law effective February 1st, 2025. Previously, all properties owned by either the spouse will be equally divided during divorce. Now the rule is a lot simpler. Whoever paid for it owns it after the divorce, even if the wife's name was added to the title after marriage.
February.
Whoever paid. And any house is gifted to the husband by his parents will remain his sole property even after divorce and will not be considered shared matrimonial property. And Chinese women are not happy. Apparently, this was just like American women, this was a source of their wealth. This was the source of over 90% of the wealth in America that's by women. Those women that are apparently these homeowners and yada, yada. It's all through divorce. It's not from hard work and grit. It is from being able to convince or to scam a man into signing a bad contract with you that is better known as a marriage contract. As of today, marriage is very unappealing for a man. It makes no sense. I've asked, countless women, if we get married tomorrow, I know what's in it for you, but what's in it for me as a man? And they all have the same answer. Well, what if you get sick or you get hit by a bus and your leg falls off? And I have to remind her, bitch, I don't live in a Tyler Perry movie. I am but a regular, humble man who just works. And, I play video games and I'm pretty normal. I'm not out here living. I don't do Tom Cruise stunts for a living. The odds of me being tragically injured and I'm going to need a caregiver, slim to none. And by the way, you women today are programmed, you wouldn't be there for me if I was. I would literally have to fly to the Philippines, handicapped, and meet someone there and then import her here. And I would have a higher rate of success than I would marrying one of you women and hoping you're going to just stick by me as my legs falling off my ass. So again, the fear of divorce is you end up like Iman Shumpert, where the woman who was not shooting with you in the gym is now claiming ownership over your assets because you were nice enough to add her name to it, or because you signed that bad contract with her. She's legally entitled to it because of the outdated laws. That's going to change in China, and the United States will be soon to follow, because our marriage rates are in the toilet and our birth rate is far below that of what it will take to be replaced. I think they're saying Gen Alpha, the next generation, there's pretty much no 18-year-olds that are going to be coming up. And I think they're only estimating that our population of children that are going to be turning 18 in 5 years is under 48 million, down from 170. So we're looking at a population collapse. There won't be enough people here to run these systems. Now, if you look at Europe, they've already been going through this, and that's why they've been importing from the third world. Initially, they used to pay women from Kenya and other African countries to come to Sweden, Norway, the UK, and to give birth, hoping that they would, sustain their population size, because that's how their societies run off, and their social services, because it's money that's taxed from employees, but it's a socialist society, so it's like 80% of the tax, but that's how they're able to afford free healthcare, etc. But those children and those women and those families, they don't integrate very well, and cultures do not all meld together. It takes more than just people to sustain a society. And those clashes now are why people are calling for to deport these people. Same as what's going on in America. We have a completely destroyed birth rate, so they thought they could import people from Central America and South America and other countries, but that's not going to work either. If you have to get rid of the rule of law to sustain your society, then you don't have a society. We still have laws, and we should not have to do that when it's just as simple as modernizing the divorce laws on paper. I'll be honest with you. If there was no fault divorce was no longer a thing, and you were not able to claim a man's property and money in a divorce, that would probably end 80% of the divorces that we're seeing across the board right now. The problem is women and men are wired different. Most women by nature are opportunists. The opportunity for her to take something from this man and to claim his property and basically get easy access to something that she didn't personally earn, it's incentivized too much. There's really no incentive to even stay married. There's only an incentive to get married, and that is that you can have access to assets and resources that are not yours. There's no incentive for you to even work it out in a marriage. Now, of course, if he's coming home after towing trucks all day, knocking back a 12-pack and putting foot to ass, I understand that. No one needs to be beat up on. And that goes for men and women. I have an abusive ex-girlfriend. She's actually visiting me right now. That she's a beat up on me. And I didn't like it, and that's why we broke up. So, but she's here visiting, and she still offers to fight anytime there's an issue. Say, you want to fight? And she's in the background, still offering to fight. I have no idea why. I'm not fighting her then. I'm not fighting her now. I don't even fight sleep. If I get tired on stream right now, I'm going to sleep. I won't even fight sleep. So let's see here. So in China, again, they're just doing what's common sense and what they should have done in the US. This is going to come here. We have men like Donald Trump and Elon Musk that are in positions of power, and they have also been men that have been targeted for divorce scams and child support scams. And again, those two, child support and alimony, shouldn't even be a thing in a modern society where women have agency, autonomy, and can vote and can work. Now, if women decide to go back into the kitchen and give up their right to vote and right to work, then child support and alimony will make sense. But I think that even has to come down to a case-by-case basis. As far as a woman being able to strategically choose which American state she gets married in because of certain divorce laws that will work in her favor, that has to be done away with completely. Or we will start marrying and having families in other countries, and we will watch the United States population collapse, and that will also collapse everything. Right now, the universities will not have any enrollment in a few years. There are no kids. There's a population collapse that we're facing. The World Economic Forum was successful. The question is now, how do you bring it back? The only way you can do it is by making divorce laws that make sense. So let's finish the rest of the video.
2025. Previously, all properties owned by either spouse would be equally divided during divorce. Now the rule is a lot simpler. Whoever paid for it owns it after divorce, even if the wife's name was added to the title after marriage. And houses gifted to the husband by his parents will remain his property even after divorce and will not be considered shared matrimonial property. And the Chinese women aren't happy. Oh no.
Chinese women are not just unhappy. Chinese women are furious. Check this out.
Have you seen the new marriage law? It says that whatever money you earn is yours. What's yours is yours, and what's mine is mine. If her house was bought before marriage, it still belongs to the original owner after divorce, even if my name was later added to the deed. If the house was bought during marriage but paid for by the husband's parents, I wouldn't get a single cent after divorce. This means the traditional idea of men earning and women managing a household no longer applies. The law doesn't care how much housework I do, how many years I spend as a stay-at-home wife, how many kids I have, or how much I sacrifice for the family. It only protects the person with financial assets. So no matter how much money my husband makes, if we get divorced, I won't get a penny. After learning about this law, I lost all motivation. I don't feel like cleaning, washing clothes, or taking care of the kids. Why? Because none of that counts. If I worked as a nanny, I could make 5,000 to 6,000 yuan a month. But right now, I have no job and no income. And no matter how much I do, it won't mean anything. So don't call me lazy anymore. You can take care of the kids, cook your own meals, and wash your own clothes.
This is
Pretty soon, women, we're going to be asking you, what kids? You're not going to be able to land a man that's going to be willing to get you pregnant if he gets any whiff that this is the type of mindset that you have, that you're literally only cooking and cleaning and taking care of your own fucking children because you're hoping to get a big payday by divorcing me in a few short years. We won't get you pregnant. We will have children in other countries, and we will just come back to the United States to make money, the same as immigrants who come to the U.S., make their money, and then they send it back to their families in another country where they can live good. But in those other countries, the laws do not permit women to. Hey, can you go in the other room or something? Or do you have any ideas? Keep them to yourself. Yeah, shut up. Hey, I can tell you to shut up. Yes, I can. I'm not fighting you. Listen. So men, again, are not going to deal with this anymore. It just doesn't make sense. So these new divorce laws means if she decides she wants to get a divorce, she will no longer be able to take your property. She won't be able to split your assets, take your money. She's going to leave in with what she came with. And it doesn't matter if she cried when you presented a prenuptial agreement to her. Now there won't be a need for a prenuptial agreement. Again, this is in China, but this will be coming to the United States within the next couple of years. For one thing, RFK Jr. is already having talks about how there is a Title 4D crisis where people are now finding out that child support is fraud. For one thing, child support is paid out to women as a grant, but then states come after you as if you are defaulted on a loan. It's grant money. How are you going to come after a man and suspend his passport and put that he owes all the levy his bank accounts and put it on his credit over a grant that went to another person when that other person has the ability to work and earn on their own? It doesn't make sense. Again, these are all laws from the 1930s. This is 100 years later. Actually, these laws were updated in the 70s, but they were originally created again before suffrage, when women could not work and they could not vote. Women now are men. Women can earn, women can take care of themselves and get their own apartments. It's not necessarily a man's fault if she's not able to budget. Saving women who are ungrateful, who don't appreciate you, those are all going to be things of the past. And you can get online, you can cry all you want. Look at the reaction of these women in China. They're very upset that these laws changed. And remember, this just happened February 1st. So the country was not expecting it. This just came out of the blue. It will be out of the blue when it happens here in the United States. No longer will you have to fear going to family court and knowing that it's going to all be in the woman's favor no matter what. And you're going to just basically just be a workhorse that has to just give her money and take care of her, even though you're not together and you don't have access to the children. It doesn't make sense. Nowadays, a lot of young men they would never get married. Most of them are virgins. Having children is a thing of the past because it's a penalty. Women use the threat of children as a penalty to basically penalize us for having sex with them. So it's like they weaponize children. Then they wonder why these men resent the children. If he's paying child support, of course he's not going to buy Christmas gifts. Budget out Christmas gifts out of the monthly child support, pay for it. The child has been weaponized against him. He's not going to do it. And you can get as emotional as you want about it, but men, not all of us are not very emotional. We're logical. And logic dictates that none of this makes any sense. So you shouldn't do it. And we won't.
You see the dilemma here? Marriage, as we know it, is an outdated contract that no longer fits modern society. Men avoided marriage because they knew divorce could financially ruin them. Now that the law protects their assets, women are the ones backing out because now they could walk away with nothing. Like I always say, women are women first. It's in their nature to prioritize security and resources. And when the game changes, so does their strategy. According to Yale sociologist Emma Zhang, Chinese divorce laws have had a major impact on women's well-being. Dennis, read.
The reform significantly harmed women's well-being. It caused a 1-point drop on a 5-point life satisfaction scale for 1 in 15 married women, a major outcome given the vast number of individuals affected. Interestingly, the ruling had no significant effects on men's well-being.
Translation? Women aren't upset about losing love. They're upset about losing financial security. This is why men need to wake up. Women don't love the same way men do. They love opportunistically. Traditional marriage was built for a different time where women were dependent on men. But in today's world, women make their own money, and that changes everything. Check this out.
Have you ever noticed that 80% of women in the beauty industry are divorced, and many of the most successful ones are also divorced? That includes me. I think the main reason is that women today are more independent. They've realized their value and unlocked their potential. And at some point, they start to see that the husband they chose isn't supporting them, isn't helping the family, and isn't taking responsibility for the household. Most women get married thinking they will take care of the home and family, but over time, they realize their husband can't provide financial stability or fulfill his role. That's
It's crazy. They talk about how in China, at the warehouses where they manufacture the phones, they put safety nets outside the windows because the men want to delete themselves and jump out of the window. So they have to put nets there to stop people. What if it wasn't because of the poor working conditions, but it was because they know that they're not going to make much money, and then they're going to go home to a nagging wife who's speaking to them in Chinese? I jump out of a fucking window too, especially when she's talking about taking that little bit of money that I have, or breaking up my family and expecting me to split the little bit of property that I have. It's that seems more like a good. Actually, when you add that in there, now the safety nets make perfect sense.
when they understand that relying on themselves is the only way to have a better life. So these women step up and start building careers. The more successful they become, the wider the gap with their husbands. And a lot of men can't handle having a wife who is more accomplished than them.
Again, these are minor accomplishments because she has the flexibility to do these things because she has a husband that goes out and provides for her every day, giving her such luxury that magically she forgets because she's incentivized to leave. There is no reason to stay. And that's why the laws have changed. And guess what? You're going to watch the marriage rates go up and the divorce rates go down. You're going to watch the birth rates go up and the abortion rates are going to go down. Hopefully we can do the same here in the United States and reverse the trends, but I don't know. The laws here are strict and we're going to really need an overhaul. And we're not going to need to, this can't be something that we allow women to vote on. Obviously, they're going to vote on what's in their best interest, which is not in the best interest of the country. So we have to keep that in mind when this comes up. So do me a favor, like and subscribe, share the video. I'll be back with another topic in about 30 minutes. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.